All right, I heard it's action and we could start recording. So, hello everybody to our continuation of our Paideia 301 class, uh, introductory and intermediate months. I know there are a few people who looked on the screen, and I was actually working on a small routine, which is basically going to be your homework. So, no, don't look at it. I just wanted to prove to myself that I can actually do it. And actually, it was hard enough, and that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted to give you a program that will exercise all your exercise the stuff that I'm gonna teach you today. All right. So we have Ted, who also seems to have been able to join us. Still don't see Alice. Waiting for you, Alice. And all right. So, um, what we're going to cover today is string manipulation. String manipulation is most is oh, thank you. I sound very good. Well, that's good. That's perfect. I am happy to hear that. Means that this was worth the effort. One of you guys is typing on the screen, and my computer is going nuts, trying to figure out who's doing that. Maybe I'll change my screen so it won't cause a bell. Rather, it will just do something else. Anyways, so today we're going to be covering string manipulation in MUMPS, and it's a very important topic. And in the process of doing that, oh, okay, you're on the call. Thank you, Jignesh. So in the process of learning how to manipulate strings, I'm going to introduce a new element of the MUMPS language called functions. So I have not showed you any functions yet, but we're going to start today. Today, we're going to start by showing you functions. So we are going to cover most of the string-related functions today, and I'll show you how they work. And today I'm also gonna cover quickly the goto command, and I'll show you how it's used. All right, so let's start off with talking about functions in MUMPS. So so far you have learned that whenever we type anything in MUMPS, when our MUMPS programs look like the following. They look like so. It looks like command, argument, command, argument. All right. So in today's class, we are not discussing the command part. We are discussing the argument part. So let's do the very simplest thing that I could imagine. So we could say write 3 plus 4. So from that, you're able to see that the write is the command and the argument is the 3 plus 4. So in MUMPS, argument can be any expression. So an expression basically is something that produces an argument in the end, or where in the case of the write command, it's usually a string. So in order for us to get have different kinds of, in order for us to manipulate arguments, we introduce stuff called functions. So let's start with the simplest function that I could think of. Let me see. All right. So there, one of the functions that I could think of that's really simple. Oh, let's start with function. Let's just talk about functions first. Well, actually, I'll show an example first. That's important. So the what I'm gonna show you is something called dollar extract. All right. Notice that there's something called dollar sign. ABC, comma 2, and you get B. All right. So um, that that just introduces a little bit of functions. So the most important thing for us to know about functions is that they start with the dollar sign. So that's very important. A function starts with the dollar sign. So um, it's just that simple. In other languages, by the way, dollar sign means you're actually making a variable. No, in MUMPS usually means that there's a function, and we're not gonna cover this today. But two dollar signs means that you have a function that you created. That's not part of MUMPS. It's part of a routine. So I'm gonna give you an example of that. So let me show you an example. So um, this is a user-defined function, user-defined in the sense that it's not part of the MUMPS language. This actually uppercases. This is the VISTA API to uppercase a bunch of text. So um, that's that's basically the difference between a single dollar and a $2 sign. So single dollar, we call it in MUMPS parlance intrinsic function. Intrinsic means it's part of the language, and $2 means extrinsic function. So today we're not going to be covering extrinsic functions except that I want to tell you that they exist, and they mean that it's some mumps that you wrote that actually gives you back a value that you could use with doing $2. So not again, I'm not explaining it very well, and that's good. So let's see. So I'm gonna move down function by function, and we're gonna start with dollar extract. So, and the syntactically, the most important thing to understand is that the whole thing that dollar extract or any other function does is that it gets evaluated and it becomes an argument to the right command. So when I do this, basically when you see this, you and the computer should be reading it from right to left. It actually runs the dollar extract first, and then it executes the write on the result. So the dollar extract will get executed, and then the result of that is going to be a B, and then it gets written. And that's not any different than any other language. They're all pretty much like that. All right. So let's just start with dollar extract. That's the simplest. I think that's the best one to start with. So dollar extract has three forms. There is a one argument form, two argument form, and three argument form. So one argument form, I'm going to show you what it does in a moment. One argument form gets the first letter. So let me write this down. one arg dollar extract gets first letter. Now let's try the 2 argument dollar extract. ABC, comma 2. All right. So how about comma 1? Okay, this looks good. So 2 argument dollar extract. I'll just call it. Gets the letter indicated by the second argument. All right. And we're going to do the 3 argument dollar extract now. Just a moment, guys. Would you, if you could excuse me, I just need to cough. All right, I'm back. So let's do the 3 argument dollar extract. So dollar extract of ABC, comma 1, comma 2. So this one gets you everything from the first letter to the second letter inclusive. How about 1, comma 3? It gives you from the first letter to the third letter inclusive. Now, who wants to tell me what will happen when I do 1, comma 4? Any guesses? Yeah, actually, Manohar, your answer is right. 1, comma 4 acts as if it's 1, comma 3. Now, this is really important. If you're taking notes, you should put a star against this, because this essentially lets you piece out. It essentially lets you pick strings out, no matter how long they are. So we're going to figure out how long a string is, which is our next question, using the next command that I'm going to cover, which is, let me write this down. 3 arg dollar extract gets the letters inclusive between first, second, and third args. Okay. And so this is dollar extract. So the command to get the length of a string, and it's a very popular command in MUMPS, we use it all the time, is called dollar length. So who wants to tell me or guess what this one is going to be? Yep, that's correct. So that's easy. So now, because they are functions, we could actually combine them with each other. And so we're gonna do, let's do dollar extract of. Actually, the outermost one has to go outermost, just like Excel functions. If you ever wrote Excel stuff. So dollar length of dollar extract of ABC, comma 1, comma 4. And we need to make sure we match the number of parentheses. And here you go. It tells you that Even though $extract tried to get 4 characters out of ABC, it only got 3, and $length confirms to us that that is indeed the case. Now, $length also has a 2 argument. Let's do this first, actually. So $length of an empty string is 0. That's hopefully simple. What I want to say is that $length has a 2 argument form, but I'm not gonna talk about it this very moment because it's useful with another command only. It's not useful by itself. So I will come back to that when we talked about $piece. All right. Okay. Just for trivia's sake, there's a useless command in the MUMPS language, and it's rarely used, but I'm gonna mention it because it only works on strings. And that command is $reverse. This command is really rare in MUMPS. It's actually almost never used. But you would guess what it does. That's all it does, is that it reverses it. Trust me, there is really in my lifetime in MUMPS there are very few cases where I actually need to reverse the string that I'm manipulating. There are some neat tricks that we use with reverse, but they're usually unnecessary. We just do it because it's fun. Okay, so that's $reverse. It's one to cross off your list because we're not gonna talk about it anymore. I'm probably never gonna mention it again. And we talked about $extract and sort of $length. All right, so let's talk about $translate. Now that's a very important command. $translate is really important in MUMPS because it's the way that we make substitutions on strings. So, for example, I'll give you the easiest example I could think of. So write $translate of so I give it the string, then I'm gonna tell it that the B should be replaced with a space. All right. So $translate works like this. So searches for second argument and substitutes with third argument. And $translate is very, very commonly used in MUMPS, so it's a very important command. Oh, I see Alice has joined at last. That's great. All right, so $translate is one thing is very commonly used for in MUMPS is to change lowercase to uppercase. So let's actually try it. Okay, let's make this lowercase and we're going to try to uppercase it. So we're going to say, I used to be able to type this much quicker in typing class. A, B, C, D, E, F. What goes? D, H, I, J. All right, I hope I did not miss any letter. I'm sure you guys will let me know. D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Here you go. We just uppercased it. So that's how you uppercase in MUMPS. You basically use this command, $translate. And now, of course, Vista already does it for you, so you don't have to do it manually. But if you're reading Vista code, that's exactly what it does for uppercasing and lowercasing. Now, there is a very important thing that I want people to watch out for. And let's put some random letters here. So we're gonna put IQZ. All right, so oops. Okay, we got it right. It gets you IQZ. Now, what if I made a boo-boo and forgot one of the letters? Like this. Oops, I need to forget it and just forget about it. So you notice that IQZ has become IR. And the reason is the I still remains in the same place, but we remove the K, so everything here shifts over by 1. So when you're doing $translate, you need to make sure that whatever you're substituting matches the number of characters you're substituting matches exactly the number of characters that you're that are in the original substitution list. Okay, so one more trick with $translate. Yes, there is one more trick with $translate, and this is one of our total favorite tricks in $translate. $translate has a 2-argument form. So what I showed you above, so let me type this. Above is the 3-arg form. Two-argument form of $translate looks like this. So write $translate, and we're gonna say ABC space DEF, and then close. And of course, if I type this, oh, well, I expected MUMPS to give me an error, but apparently I'm wrong. But okay, I'm wrong. When I give it a second argument, it basically removes the second argument. So it acts as a delete. This feature comes in really, really handy. So if I want to remove spaces from a string, I just do what I just did above. I put the second argument as a space. Now, $translate to argument really is the same as this. You're saying space and then an empty string for a third argument, which gives you the same thing. But essentially, it acts as a deleter. So here's another example. We're going to delete the F. That's it. We want to delete the space and the F. Here you are. All right. That is $translate. So the next command I want to share with you is actually a pair of commands. One is called $A, and one is this $ASCII actually, and $C for character, or it's actually just CHAR. So if you write $, I always have to remind myself which one does what. Let's do $character first. All right. So who wants to guess what this just did? What's 65? 65 is a sort of an important number for some of us. ASCII, that's correct. So it's basically writing the first character of ASCII. So, and $character does not have a 1, 2, or 3 argument form. It has an unlimited argument form. So it could take any number of arguments. So you could do 65, 67, which is the letter C, 69, which is E, and you're going to see ACE. That's dollar character. Now the opposite of dollar character is dollar ASCII. So let's look at dollar ASCII. So dollar ASCII of the letter A is, who wants to guess? You just had your answer right there. Okay, that's right. It's 65. So that's ASCII is really simple actually. So ASCII, by the way, mirrors the two argument dollar extract, because you could have multiple. If you do like this ABC, it will give you just the first letter. But you could say I want the second letter of this, and then it will give you the second letter, which is 66, which is a B. All right. To summarize over here, dollar $CHAR basically gives you a line. It gives you basically character by character, and you could put as many arguments as you want, and that just gives you it just gives you the ASCII equivalents. One thing we actually do a lot inside of MUMPS, if we're writing console code, roll and scroll code, which is we put a bell, like $C of 7 is a bell. So we're not going to hear a bell over here, but because I think the screen software intercepts it, but that's where the bell comes from. Now, just a little tidbit, since I'm a pharmacist. I've used the pharmacy software in VISTA, and I have to tell you, oh my God, that damn thing is so noisy. There's so many bells down there. Just all those C7s, and every single time FileMan doesn't like something you did, it rings and it rings and it rings and it rings. Eventually, I just have to mute the computer. Or change the bell into a visual bell, which is something you could configure your terminal to. All right, that's dollar character. Oh, by the way, another important dollar character that we should use. Pharmacy Angel gets its wings. Thank you, Rob. Another important thing that some people actually you might see. $C of 1310 is equal to, same as CRLF. So if you deal with text files, you often know that they end either with CR and LF on Windows, or just LF on Unix. And if you don't know that right now, that's okay. You're going to find out soon enough. So don't worry about it. Okay, so I can cross off my list. $ASCII and $character. I didn't summarize. I want to summarize $character and $ASCII before I move on. So I said what $character was. Let me just write it down. $character translates ASCII numbers to actual ASCII characters. And I'm going to say, as such, it's only useful when trying to print out control characters. Control characters are any characters you cannot see on the screen, like the C7 and the 1310. And I think I gave you the wrong one for the bell. I'm going to have to check. I don't remember what the bell is. Okay, we're going to find out. I'm going to show you a trick. If you have Linux, you can type man ASCII and it should tell you it should give you the ASCII table. And the bell is 7. Okay, I was right. All right, back to our thing. So I thought I gave you the wrong bell. All right, again, trying to summarize where I'm going with all of this. All right, we mentioned what dollar character was. Dollar ASCII reverses dollar character. So gives you the ASCII code associated with a with a with a character. All right. Now, there might some. I just want to give. I wanna just like Vivaldi. I just wanna forestall my critics, and I just wanna say, if we're not talking about Unicode here. Unicode makes things really complex, and you have to be careful about what dollar ASCII means for Unicode and what dollar character means for Unicode. But this is this sort of a discussion that I will, if anybody is interested in it, you're best off reading the GTM documentation, which tells you in detail the difference and how they implement it. For Vista as it is right now in the VA and in almost all of the world, as far as I know it, you essentially dollar when you use dollar ASCII and dollar character, you're operating on a byte level, because each byte is one ASCII and each byte is also one character, and it works out okay. That you never could go wrong with just staying with ASCII. All right, so that's dollar ASCII and dollar character. All right. Now the last few commands are a bit odd. Now they're not that commonly used, but they have some of their uses. So let's try them. So let me write here. Okay. Oops. $find. So $find. It's very simple. Finds the next character you asked for. All right. With a big twist. Now we're gonna talk about the big twist in a moment, because you won't believe your eyes when you see that big twist. So can write $find of Mary has a little lamp, and I'm gonna look for little. All right. Before we find out the answer, who wants to tell me what we expect the answer is gonna be? All right, this is gonna take some time. I'm gonna count the numbers and I'm gonna figure it out myself. 1, 2. 18. All right. Alice, I think, gave the best answer so far. Let's see what about the others. 11 or 12. Okay, 11. All right, all right. Anybody else who wants to give more guesses? Alice gave 13. That sounds good too. Anybody else who wants to guess? All right. So I'm sorry, guys. None of you is correct. I think it's 20. It's 20 something, or is it 19? How that's all? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I think it's 19. Oh, it's 18. Okay. So, okay. All right. Now, everybody of you must be really surprised, and you are wondering, why the hell is it 18? Well, this is one of the confusing commands in MUMPS, and we do use it, but we don't use it a lot. But if you do use it, you need to know how it works. It gets you the character after where you started, after it finds the match. So the match, even though the match started at LITTLE, which is at character, I believe it was 12, if I'm gonna guess. It went up to 18 because it goes up to the character that's after the little. So after did the search. Now let's confirm that. Okay, well, don't take my word for it. So how am I gonna confirm it? What's a command that will tell me what the character at position 18 is? We just covered it. Just seeing if anybody's paying attention. Okay. Okay, length, reverse. Okay, good. No, actually neither one. It's $extract. So we're gonna do write $extract of Mary has a little lamb, and we're gonna give it, let's look at 17, and we should expect 17 to be the letter E. It is. Should expect 16 to be L. It is. And 18 is the one that's just after the space and after the little, which is a space, and indeed it's a space. So I can write this equals an empty string. And it says, yes, it's actually not an empty string, a space, excuse me. It tells me that this is correct. So it is indeed equal to just a space. Okay, so I guess find is a little difficult to understand. So your question is, so Sam, how do I know when a letter really starts? Well, the way I usually did this is using the following expression. So it would be, let's go back to find. So the way I really find where the thing starts is I do minus $length of little minus 1. And it should tell me, and now it tells me that little starts at 11. Now let's see if this is true. No, I'm sorry. I went too far. Okay, so scratch that. It's just minus length, not the minus 1. And that will, and now if we write $extract, oh, actually, just recall it, of 12, we'll get the first L of little. Okay, so far so good, but find has more tricks up its sleeve. Let's make a new string. Mary found another Mary. Okay, now we want to search for Mary, and we know this should be easy now. What should this find me? What's the answer to this one? 4. Not quite. You're close. It's actually 5. Because it goes to the place after the first thing that it actually finds. So let's try. Okay, let's say I want to find the other Mary. So how do I do that? Well, this is where I have to use the 3-argument $find. And the third argument, I could tell it to start from 5 and don't look back. So when I told it to start from 5, it essentially started from 5 and went forward and found the next thing that matches. So third arg for $find is where to start. All right, and then we are going. Okay, Jignesh has question. In this case, no, the second argument is the string you're searching for. So second arg for $find is the string to search for. And first arg is the search string. All right. I see you're still typing a question. I'll wait for you. Okay. What if you have 3 Marys? Okay, let's see. He wanted to ask what if we have a third Mary. Okay, let's do that. So if we have Mary found another Mary, and you have Mary here, you're gonna okay. Now let's start from the beginning. So we find that the first Mary is at position 5. So let's start from position 5. Find that the next Mary is at position 24. We could start at 24, and we're gonna see that the next Mary is at position 29. So that's how you would do it. Huh? Okay, I'll check it at 29. Thank you, Douglas. All right. Oh, that's right. Here you go. Now, Jignesh said interesting, but I think I could translate what he's saying to totally crazy. Now, I have to tell you why MUMPS does it this weird way. $find is essentially needed. It's made so that it would be combined with $extract. So you basically it will find something, and then it will jump off to the next position so that you could extract everything until that new position. That's the whole point around $find, is that basically it's designed to work with $extract. We're gonna have we still have $length to talk about, and that also has another crazy argument. Okay, guys, little breather. I know I've given you way too much in this class, but here's the good thing. Here's the good thing. Most of this is actually all of this, not most of this. All of this is in the MUMPS handbook that we emailed you and asked you to download. It's called the Standard MUMPS Pocket Guide, and we're gonna make sure to send it to you again. But it's pretty important that everything that I just talked about, everything is right there. And the way you're gonna learn this is you're gonna try to write a routine using this, and you're gonna look at the pocket guide for reference. So so at this point, not to worry. I'm going to be covering a little bit more. We're going to cover a couple more commands, and we're going to try to do some exercises. All right. Jignesh says, write $find Mary found another Mary, extract Mary. Okay. Now, remember, like any language, you have to go from left to right, or excuse me, no, right to left, right to left. So we execute the dollar extract of Mary, and dollar extract of Mary, since it does not have any arguments, it's gonna extract just the first character. So we'll write dollar extract of Mary, and it's an M. So, uh, so essentially, dollar extract of Mary gives you an invalid argument, to be honest. So let's try it here now. Dollar extract of Mary. And what it does is that, you know, it essentially treats the third argument as a zero, because there is not, you did not supply it with anything valid. Okay. Let me now give you the next couple of commands. We have two more commands, and that's it for, and the other dollar length, and that's it for functions. Excuse me, not commands, for functions. So let's start with write dollar justify. So that's the next one we're gonna try. So now this one is actually easy to understand. So Mary is 4 spaces, and we're gonna tell dollar justify to use 6 spaces. So dollar justify with a string like this, basically it basically pads it. It basically, what's the word I want to use? It right justifies it to the number of spaces that you want to use. So that's all that dollar justify does for strings. It does more for numbers, but I don't think I want to cover that today. Let me see. Yeah, no, I won't cover that today. So we're gonna stick to just this example, because that's all it does. So dollar justify right justifies a string to a specific number of spaces. Okay, and let's see. So the next thing that I want to show you, and I left the most important command for last. Maybe I should not have done that, but oh well. The most important command in the whole of the MUMPS language. Actually, not command, excuse me, function. Okay, dollar piece. All right, so I'll tell you why it's you'll understand why it's important later, but I'm going to show you how it works. So let's say set x equal to Mary found a. Actually, no, forget about that. I'm not going to show you this. I'm just going to illustrate it without setting a variable. So write dollar piece of Mary found a little lamp, and then I'm gonna tell it second argument is piece, and then first argument and then I give it the third argument as 1. So this gives you Mary. Now I'm gonna give you again. I'm gonna keep doing this, and you're gonna get the pattern. Okay, found. So who wants to guess what piece 3 is gonna be? Okay, that's correct. It's A. How about fourth piece? Okay. Easy. All right, I like that. He's asking, will return word. Oh, well, sure, Manohar. You now give it away to all of us, huh? Okay. So, Pretty simple, right? Okay, maybe not. Let me confound you a little bit. So who wants to guess what are we gonna get with this argument? With this command? After the second argument? Nope, nope. Okay. Okay. Well, a lot of different answers, but Rob got it right. You are going to get Mary with a space because it looks and tries to find the F's in here, and it looks at and finds the first F. So everything before the first F is gonna return. So here you go. You just got Mary, but is this Mary with a space or a Mary without a space? Well, you know what we could do. We could say set x equal this, write $length of x. It's 5 characters, therefore there must be a space at the end. Okay, so let's try the next one. So what happens after we put the go? If I say give me piece it by the F, but give me the second piece, what should I get? Any guesses? And a little lamb. That's correct. All right, that's correct. No, I said set x. Sorry, I don't want to set x. I want to just go ahead and write it. Okay, so that's exactly right. So, okay, very good. Now let's make life complicated. So who wants to guess what I'm gonna get here? This is a difficult one. Yeah, actually, Ted, you got it right. It's going to get you the empty string. And don't believe me, again, we're gonna say set x equal to the same thing, and then we're gonna see how long it is. And then write $L of x, that's the same as $length, and it's 0. Okay. All right. This is, I guess by now you should be able to guess what this is gonna be. Again, I want to write it to the screen, not store it in a variable. So write. Okay. So that's good. Now, so that's essentially $piece, but there are a couple of twists with $piece, and we're gonna discuss the twist with the space. So let's go back to the space. Okay, so we can also tell $piece that we want multiple pieces. So oh, Jignesh, I don't think so. I still tremble when I look at Java and how many libraries are in there, you know, and each one is different and I have to learn it. So you remember, by the way, these functions are pretty much all of MUMPS. You won't believe it. That's pretty much most of MUMPS. So most of your MUMPS code is just going to use these functions. So don't worry. I know it looks bad now, but it's basically I'm basically jamming a lot of information in this class because they sort of belong together. All right, so multiple pieces could be done by using a 4-argument $piece, and that is 2. So for example, 2, 3 will give you found A, and if we say 2 to 4, it will give you found a little. And there's one last twist on Mary found a little lamb, and that is just omitting the piece number directly. And that will get you just the first piece. So if piece number is omitted, first piece. Okay, so so the next thing I suppose we want to discuss is the next thing I want to discuss is what would you do? The other dollar length that I did not talk about before. So let's talk about it. So write dollar length of Mary found a little lamb. Okay, this is easy. It's going to give us however long this is. So that's easy. But the other form of dollar length that I have not talked about is this one. It's the two argument dollar length. Okay, so who wants to guess what the two argument actual dollar length gave me? What's 5? 5 what? Okay, Rob got it correct. It is number of pieces. And so what's important for you to know is that because dollar length gives you the two argument dollar length gives you the number of pieces, it's frequently used with for loops, which we did not discuss yet. Inside of mumps, and the for loops contain dollar piece because dollar piece the dollar length controls the iteration of what the counter is going to go up to, and the dollar piece actually picks at each one. So so dollar length and dollar piece belong together essentially. Dollar length to argument form. So dollar length to arg form gives you the number of pieces delimited second argument. Okay, so would you guys believe it? And if I tell you that that's all the functions I'm gonna teach you today, that's everything. That's it. We've covered a huge amount. We've covered a huge amount of functions in just 1 hour, and um, I guess my strategy was is that these are actually not that hard, but you will not be able to remember them all off the top of your head unless you've used them a lot. So basically, you're gonna have to have a little reference for you to look at and figure out what they do. So what I am going to do now is I'm going to review everything that we covered, and then we're gonna do an exercise together so that we could figure out how to actually use these in a real program. All right, Jignesh. Are you saying most of the code in MUMPS uses functions taught today? Yes, Jignesh. Didn't I tell you that dollar piece was the most important function of them all? Jignesh is asking, does most of the code use the functions taught today? Let's pick a routine at random, okay? I'm gonna try to figure out what routine I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick something that starts with the letter E. Okay, good. We have a utility routine, so let's actually take a look at it and see if it's okay. So let's see if we have any functions here. All right, I'm moving my cursor down, and do you see the dollar piece? Here you go. There's something called dollar get. I did not teach you that today, don't worry. But here's dollar piece again. Here's dollar piece again. You see dollar get again, which I did not teach you, but here's dollar piece again. Here's dollar get. Here's another dollar piece on this line. And that's it. So at least in a single routine, you could see that we've seen like at least $4 or $5 pieces, and the rest of them are dollar gets, which we're gonna cover in a later class. But most of a lot of the mumps code is mostly dollar piece. Now I'm gonna actually reserve from you the real reason why dollar piece is that important. Oh, I'm gonna tell you. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. It's simple. Okay. Um, I'm just showed you a record from FileMan, and you'll notice that basically uh, it the FileMan record is essentially constructed by pieces of pieces. Let's try another one. Let's do PS drug 50 comma. That's an invalid drug. Okay, never mind. I guess. All right, but here's the real secret. FileMan stores all his data in pieces, and that's why you see dollar piece, a lot of dollar piece inside of Vista. All right, so let's review everything that I covered today, and then we're gonna do an example, and I'm gonna give you a homework. And by the way, before I forget saying it, I will not be here next week. I'll be. My sister is taking some time off of residency, and she's going to Cancun, and I'm following her. So Jignesh and Alice, wave hi back to me when I fly over you. All right. So let's review this. So we have dollar. Sure. Can I stay a day? Sure, Jignesh. We'll figure it out. So let's start with one by one. I taught you dollar ASCII, and the abbreviation for it is dollar A. And what this one does is that it gets you the ASCII value of a literal character. So the example is write $A of the little of A, and that should be 65. Okay, and to argument form gives you the actual ASCII of that thing that the ordinal number counting from 1. So it will give you the ASCII of B. All right, $CHAR or $C creates a byte or character from its ASCII ASCII number. So, and an example, write $C of 65, and that will give you an A. All right. So that's $ASCII, $character. $translate. Translate is the whole thing. Translate or $TR. This either converts or deletes. And the example I gave you was the following. So if I could do write $TR of, if I do ABC, I'm going to say I want to convert the B to a D. That's what's going to happen. I can also do the deletion, which is like this. ABC, comma, and it's just going to be A and C. All right, that's $translate. Let's do $extract, and then $piece, and then $length. Okay. $extract, or just $E, extracts from string. So it has 1, 2, or 3 arg forms, and I'm going to show you what each one does. So write $E of ABC, comma 1. Actually, just the one argument just gives you the first character. Comma 2 gives you the character that you want. Comma 2 to 3 gives you a combination of characters from 2 to 3. And if you have a longer string, DEF, and you say 2 to 4, you're just going to get 2 through 4, which is BCD. All right, that's $extract. Let's keep going. $piece, or $P, which is gets pieces from string. And if you know the C language, this is the same as strtok in C language. All right, and the way it works is you write $piece of, again, how many? It has 2, 3, or 4 argument formats, and let's go over them one by one. So write $piece of Mary has a little lamb. All right, you have to give it the delimiter. This should give me an error. Okay, good. So it should be, and here's the delimiter. So the delimiter by default, it gives me the first piece. Now, if I want a specific piece, I could name it in the third argument. If I want multiple pieces, I could ask for them as multiple pieces. All right. So that's $piece. Now let's talk about $length or $L. And this is very easy. The first use example is, now this is just a length of string. That's the easy part. Now, let me see. Oh yeah, comma, space. Pieces. Okay, this will give you number of pieces by delimiter. Okay, good. So that just tells me that there are five pieces when I use the space. So let's keep going. So $piece, $extract, $length. I said I'm not going to discuss $reverse again because it's a useless command. And Then we discussed dollar find, and we spent a bit of time on dollar find. Oh, here you go. Manohar really wants dollar find. And dollar justify. Thank you. Dollar find is just dollar $f. Find a string, and we said it has 2 or 3 argument forms, and the 2 argument is simple. So write Mary met another Mary. And if we search for, I did dollar length, didn't I? Isn't that fun? Dollar find. And it's gonna come. So this is jump to just after Mary. All right, so that's that. And then if I jump to just after Mary, start from 5th character. Okay, good. And then our last command we covered today is justify, or $J. This is right justifies, or if you're doing Hebrew, left justifies. It doesn't matter; it will also work. Right justify a string, and the simple way it works is right $J of Mary, comma 6. Here you go. No, thank you. Good question. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. Well, I should have mentioned it. A dollar reverse. So here we go. I'm gonna actually mention it. It's dollar RE. Oops, it's not dollar reverse. So this one reverses a string, and it's completely useless because we don't really use it that often. And how about $R? $R is actually $random, but we're not going to talk about $random today. It's a numeric function, and today we're discussing string functions. Okay, so wow, these are lots of commands here, but I hope they're not going to be too hard. So let's try to actually use them for something useful. So I'm going to create a small program right now, and the purpose of this small program is to count how many spaces and how many e's are in the program. So, and at least this should give us an idea of how things work. So let's give it a try. This should be an easy program to write. Set DZ equal 1. All right. Oh, sorry. I forget what thing I'm supposed to use. Okay, here we go. Select routine Z00, and I'm gonna start off with, what should I call it? Let's go count. And do I have 1, 2, 3? Yeah, 8. Just 8. So. All right, so I'm gonna start off by read, paste some text in. We're gonna put it into into a variable called text. We're going to say set, okay, number of words is equal to. Now, this should not, this will take a little bit of thinking, but we could really get it very easily by $length of text, comma, space. Basically, that's going to give us the number of pieces separated by space, which is essentially the number of words. Right? Your text has words in it. All right, I guess this program is good enough for now. We're gonna save it. Ooh, what did I make? Oh, I forgot the closing parenthesis, closing quote. Isn't that fun? Here you go. All right, actually, this is the most important lesson of all. You've just seen me here writing a program, and you saw that I make mistakes. This is really important. Why? Because guess what? I know several of you are beginners in programming, and you might feel overwhelmed when you start making mistakes, and your program doesn't work. But I just want to tell you, this is part of the deal of programming. Some days I just want to throw my computer out of the window. All right, so let me print it out for our class capture, and then I'm going to execute it. So do upcar z00 count. Now I need to go find some text to paste. Oh, oops. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what happened. So let's run my program again. I think what happened was that there was a return encountered somewhere. So do upcaret z00 count. I'm not gonna put as much text. Let's just put a little bit. Oh, okay. Now it tells me that your text has 49 words in it, but you could guess already that I have a problem with with my formatting. So I just have to fix that, and I could put it at the end of the read because the read will print out stuff. Okay. Okay, very good. Now it tells me your text has 49 words in it. So, all right. So again, this is a start. So one thing I was gonna mention was basically is the use of goto, because you're gonna need it for your homework for today. So I need to make sure I teach that to you, and we don't have a lot of time, which is not great, but fortunately it's easy. So goto means go back to a label, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to count. I'm thinking it might be too much to try to teach right now. I'm trying to think. We only have 5 minutes left. All right, you know what, guys? I think I'm gonna go ahead and teach it in those 5 minutes, and we're gonna help you through the homework. All right. So, um, let's say that we want to do this 3 times. So we put a label which says begin over here, and we're gonna say set begin. Oh, set counter equal to 0, and then here we could say set counter equal to counter plus 1 if counter is less than 3, which means it's going to give us less than 2. It's just going to give us one more time to run this. Go to begin. All right. So let's run it. It should be pretty obvious how this works. So all right, good. Again, same text formatting problem, but it came back again, and it should not come back a third time. It did. I have to check my. Okay, I screwed up. I screwed up. I don't know where. I'm trying to think quickly. Set counter equal counter plus 1. If counter less than 2, go to begin and. Oh, I reset the counter to 0. Thank you, Douglas. See? Douglas told me I reset the counter to 0. So I have to put the counter back at the top. See the kinds of mistakes we make. Oh. All right, good. I should do it again. It should be the last time. All right, good. So that's the go-to, and I'm going to print the program again. And that's the go-to. So, okay, here is your homework. And the homework sounds, you have 2 weeks to do the homework, and the homework sounds much easier than it actually is. So don't let the homework simplicity tempt you the fact that it's easy. I want you to actually get an early start on it because it's going to be a pretty difficult homework. The homework is paste some text. Let me just type homework. Paste some text in like I did above, and word wrap it at 80 characters and print the resulted text at 80 characters. Resulted text. Well, okay, that's good enough. All right. So, I'm gonna tell you why this homework is hard. This homework is hard because you're going to have to make sure that when you word wrap it, you don't break things in between you don't break stuff in the middle of words. That means you have to word wrap it at word boundaries, which means you're gonna have to use all your $extract, $piece, and $length voodoo to get it done. And it's not gonna be easy. I did this homework by myself before class to make sure that I'm not assigning you something too easy or too difficult, and it took me by surprise by how long it took me to actually get it right. So, this should be an easy to understand homework because I guess it's it's not hard. I think all of us know what word wrap really does. I mean that you at 80 characters you can't put in the next word. You have to go down the next line. Okay, so that's today's class, and I am going to see if you have it open. I'm gonna open it for questions, and if there are no questions, we're gonna close it for the class today. And there won't be any class next week. I'll just wave down at you at when I fly over Fort Lauderdale. So questions, guys, you could come off mute if you want to. Oh, thank you. Good session without a single break of voice. Thank you very much. Okay, I am. I'm going to be here. Oh, is Alice typing? And Douglas typing too. Okay, thank you, Alice. Um, all right. I just want to say, are you sending the homework to the Google group? Yes, I'll send the homework to the Google group. Um, so I just want to say in conclusion today that today's class was a bit difficult. It was not the easiest one. We've covered a huge amount of ground just in one day. But essentially, it's all similar stuff, and you have 2 weeks to digest this stuff. And I would encourage you to get the standard Mumps Pocket Guide as a reference. And that's it for class, I guess. Anything else, Douglas? No? Okay. All right. Bye, everybody.